You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad you can join me on another podcast of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, do yourself a favor. Go ahead and follow the podcast. If you're on the YouTube side of things, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, comment, like, all that good stuff. Even a dislike if you don't like the video. But interact. Go to any of the social media links that you see in the description box to get in contact with the show for any comments or suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. All right, so I have a great podcast for you guys today. So I wanted to go all the way to the East Coast. Let's go inside Capital One Arena and see what the Washington Wizards are up to. Now, we know the Lakers, they just made a trade for Russell Westbrook recently. But he's back in the news, kind of, sort of. The Washington Wizards owner is the reason for that. Now, the guy who owns the Washington Wizards, I believe his name is... What is his name? I know his last name is Leonsis. I believe that is his name. I can't find his first name. Let's see what his first. His name. I knew his last name, but Wizards owner Ted Leonsis, who also owns the Washington Capitals, spoke out to ESPN's Emily Kaplan about the latest extension signed by NHL franchise player and longtime DC icon Alex Ovechkin. Now, toward the end of the interview, Leonsis couldn't help but compare the loyalty of Russell Westbrook to that of one of his NHL players. Now, Westbrook, like I said, look, he finds himself, on this LA Lakers team after this is his third trade in 3 seasons, and that's pretty much what the Wizards owner said. He went on to say, look, we had a superstar player with the Wizards. He had an opportunity, and he wanted to be traded to the Lakers. I was dealing with that, and we were announcing Alex Ovechkin's signing with the Washington Capitals. Now, he went on to say that I couldn't help but self-reflect on what a difference it is. Here's a great player in Russell Westbrook, who played in OKC, wanted to be traded, went to Houston, wanted to be traded, came to DC, wanted to be traded, and is now in Los Angeles. Now, he's an unbelievable great person. But the difference between the NBA, well, he said, I believe, but that is the difference between the NBA and the NHL, I suppose. So, my question to you, well, my question to myself, was the Wizards owner, Ted Leonsis, out of line? Yes. Was he wrong? No. Look, as an owner who is trying to attract free agents, you can't make comments like that about losing players. Now, to me, my opinion, he wasn't wrong in his statement, but he was wrong in saying it. Look, I recently did a podcast about Russell Westbrook, asking to explain his career. And the guy is a future Hall of Famer, but his play style doesn't mesh well with others because he's so ball dominant. Now, I don't really believe in the Lakers or Westbrook, but we'll get a good look at him this season and see how his game plays next to LeBron and Anthony Davis. If those, I'll say this, if those the OKC days with Durant and Westbrook, if they stayed together, I believe we wouldn't be having this conversation. OKC would have won a title by now, but guys get antsy. They think they have to win a title right away. OKC was on the come up. I know they lost. They were up 3-1 to Golden State. Golden State came back and won the series, and Durant leaves after that and joins Golden State. But if that team stays together, I truly believe that OKC team would have won a title by now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation as we speak. As for the Wizards, they've been a hot mess for decades. Don't give me the Gilbert Arenas nonsense days, because they were never real contenders anyway. LeBron was taking care of the Wizards, in his early 20s, without any problems. So I don't want to hear about the Gilbert Arenas days. As long as I can remember, going back to when they were the Bullets, and this is the 90s, Washington really hasn't been that much of a contender. And I know they had a different owner, than from Ted Leonsis, who made these comments about Russell Westbrook. But like I said, as long as I've been alive, the Bullets/Wizards have been hot garbage in the NBA East. And also, this can't make Bradley Beal want to play for a guy that opens his mouth like this. But hey, I could be wrong. Look, what do you think? Was the Wizards owner, Ted Leonsis, was he wrong for the subtle jab, just a little subtle jab at Westbrook? Leave your opinion down below in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And I don't know, maybe we'll agree on something, or we'll agree to disagree. All right, let's move on to this day in sports. In 1997, my Atlanta Braves signed Greg Maddux to, get this, a then record 5-year, $57 million deal. Talk about a bargain and a steal. Yeah, you won't get those kind of numbers these days. Hey, look, that's all I got for you today, folks. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, do yourself a favor. Follow the podcast. You can listen when you're at work, when you're driving around in your car. Like I said, do yourself a favor. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, comment, like, dislike if you have to. All that good stuff. Make sure you go to any of the social media links in the description box to get in contact with the show for any comments or suggestions. That's it. That's all I got for you. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.